Let's take a look at Autodesk Inventor. You'll notice from the start yours may look a little bit different. I've got all of my projects showing up here. I've got several parts that I've been working on in the past. I have some icons here. When you open it up, this is our home screen. We got the home tab down here. We have an option to be able to go to a learning path. If you click on this, it'll take you to several good Autodesk Inventor videos. If there's things you're looking for that you can't figure out how to do, you can go in through there. There's also good use of YouTube to find out exactly what you're looking for. There's tons of information on the internet available to help you with Autodesk Inventor. First thing is we've got 3 different types of part files that we will typically be using. You'll notice down here at the bottom I've got a .iam. That is a assembly file, an Inventor assembly file. We've got object down here. You can notice it kind of has a tan background. That is an Inventor drawing file. And then we've got an .ipt. That's an Inventor part file. If I pull them up, you're going to notice that the assembly is, if we highlight over, those are 3 pieces that are assembled together and put together. So if I drag them, they are stuck together. They will move with each other. If I go into the drawing file, this is where we were talking about when we were talking about isometric drawings, and we were talking about our multi-view drawings and how we need to make sure that we leave plenty of room around those. This is why we need to be able to have room to be able to put our drawing dimensions around them and make sure that we've got things lined up. Here you notice that Autodesk does this very nicely. Students are usually upset at me about this point for making them draw them by hand when they could get them to come up nicely in Autodesk Inventor. Then we have our part file. So this is just one individual piece that we have modeled out. We could go back and we could put that into an assembly. We could do a drawing with the assembly, or we could do a drawing with an individual part. So that's what we'd be working on with those. As we look at our different options that we have available, we have some different areas that we can actually look at some different things with. Our main part window is this area where we're actually going to have our part. So it makes sense. This is where we're going to do all of our action. We're going to be actually seeing what's happening based on what we're modifying. We have our part browser over here to the left side. So this is going to allow us to see a progression of the part. If we look at this, any sketch, if it's underneath and we have to expand that down, that is called consumed by this extrusion, which means that sketch is used by that extrusion. Extrusion just meaning we're making something from 2 dimensions, a sketch, into 3 dimensions. So we can see a progression of what's happened. We can see the order of which things have happened. Where did I put this fillet on to the part? That was the last fillet I put on there. Where did I put this? Next to the last thing. And so on as we go up through those parts. We also have across the top, we have what's called, this little box set right across here is called the ribbon. It allows us to choose what we're actually going to be doing with our model. So you're going to notice we have also some tabs across the top of this. So we have tabs across the top of our ribbon, and if we click on those tabs, it allows us to do different things with that ribbon. If we go back, we have an applications menu up here in the top corner. It's kind of small, but if you open that, pull that down, we have some, it's usually, it used to be a little bit larger up here, so in your homework it'll show something here with a little drop down arrow that has a little bit more to it. So that would be your applications menu. We have a quick access toolbar across the top. So this is our quick access toolbar. If we were to drop down, we can come over here to the end. We can drop down, we can choose what we would like to have on that quick access toolbar. You're going to find later we use iProperties quite a lot. We could actually add iProperties onto that by check marking it. It will now show up here on our menu. If we would like to get rid of something, we can actually check mark it and take it off. Since we share these computers between classes, we probably don't want to do a whole lot with modifying that. iProperties is a good one to have up there. We have what we call panels across the bottom. So these tell us a little bit more about what this set of tools will do. So we're going to create panel. If we notice we got a drop down, we can add things to that, or there may be things that don't fit inside of there. So if there is a little arrow triangle down, it means there's more things available that you can actually use. Panel buttons, and once again our tabs across the top. What happens if we lose what if we lose this information up here? So if we go into view, because we need to view what's happening, and we come over here to our user interface, you're going to notice there are things that are checked. So if we were to actually lose our, say, navigation bar, or we were to lose our modeling bar, so it disappeared, now we no longer have it over here, we need to be able to have that. We need to be able to see what's going on. So we need to view, we need to go to view, we need to go to user interface, and we need to make sure that our model browser shows up. There are a few questions that will be on what order things are here, like we were talking about. This goes in order of what's actually happening, so you can find that out. If we want to navigate around and move our part around, we won't be able to see it from different angles. We can actually look at this view cube on the side. So this view cube will allow us to rotate things around. We can grab it and pull it, move our mouse around to do different angles. Our home button. That will take us back to the home view. So our little house is the home. Notice it disappears if I move off from it. It's very faintly there, and when you get close it really shows up, and you can actually highlight it by clicking on it. We actually also have our navigation bar, so we're actually able to do some of the same things that we could use function tools to do by coming over here. You're also going to notice that if you look on the side, you can get some more options by hitting F1. It'll give you some more options. It'll also tell you what it does if you highlight over the top of it. So we have a pan, a tilt, a free orbit, a zoom. We have several icons that we can actually deal with over here. If we want to do things with our object, and you like using function keys, we can use F2 to pan, which means we just basically move it around. We can use F3 to zoom. So if you hold down F3 and move your mouse back and forth, you notice it allows you to zoom. You can also use the mouse wheel, roll the mouse wheel to do the same thing without using the function key. You can use F4. F4 allows you to turn it in whichever direction you'd like. If you happen to get lost and you get in a weird view and you can't figure out what's going on, always go back up to the home button and you can fix that. We can also hit F5. F5 will take us back to the previous view if we have recently been on a different view, different angle, things like that. So F5 will take you back if you've just moved views and you want it back like it was. And if you'd like to go back to home, so let's say you're off, you hit F6, that'll take you back to home.